Whew. Alright guys, let's shake off that last game and move into the next one. It's the grand finals, as next gen Vietnam will now attempt to do what no other team has done to Mineski X, aka take a game off of them. Mineski X on the Radiant side, we've been following their journey through and through to the grand finals, but let's not take anything away from the Vietnamese boys here, because it looks like they've had a flawless run to the grand finals as well. Truly a worthy match for the grand finals here, as next gen will be on the dire side with first pick. And look at this, already Mineski X pulling out something completely new and something that I didn't expect here, a first ban Meepo up against next gen. Now everyone in the SEA circuit, or at least in the upper echelons of the SEA ladders, know each other, know how they play, and they scrim against each other on a regular basis. Mineski has probably seen next gen playing a badass Meepo back in the day, which is probably why we're going to see that Meepo ban coming out from them. It's going to be followed with an Alchemist banned out with their stick, while next gen, they've opted to ban the Void as well as the Enchantress. So first pick without hesitation is going to be the Darkseer for next gen Vietnam. Mineski X, let me predict this, it's going to be a Mirana and an Oracle for these first two picks. Do it, Johnny. We know you want that Mirana, man. Nick's probably gonna be like, oh, you know what, I'm fed up of playing Mirana, man. I've been playing Mirana all day, every day. Can we stop now? Can I get something different? Can I show the world that I'm good at Dota and not just at Mirana? Lone Druid's fine, but it's probably gonna be Kang that handles it, and it'll be the Oracle to follow it up. So Oracle, too good to pass up in the face of that Darkseer. Lone Druid, when he's made it through the first phase of the bans, I really don't see why you wouldn't pick it up. So Mineski X doing the right thing here, picking up a good opening duo. Next gen Vietnam, I wonder what they've got up their sleeves though.
10 seconds remaining.
You've still got a possible Beastmaster pick that could be coming out for them, but no, scratch that. Darkseer is going off lane. Why would you pick a Beastmaster over and above that? Maybe you pick up the Vengeful Spirit as a deterrent for a possible Batrider pick, but then again, next gen does have the opportunity to ban out the Batrider in the next phase, so not too much to worry about for them really. Oops guys, forgot to update the stream title. Just give me a moment as I alt tab real quick.
Radiant team back.
There we go, that ought to do it. Alright, so it's gonna be a Slaughter second pick coming out from next gen Vietnam. Given that they've already picked up the Darkseer, I do expect that to be... Well, maybe now they're just going to run a support Darkseer, recognizing that the Oracle will be too difficult to deal with in the offlane. And then instead they could run the offlane Slaughter. That said, they could also run a dual lane with the Darkseer and the Slaughter, where Slaughter plays a pseudo support role. But we'll find out soon enough, because this draft, it's definitely new, it's definitely a curveball to me.
10 seconds remaining.
Whereas the next few bans, you're going to see a Beastmaster getting banned out eventually by next gen Vietnam. Witch Doctor will follow suit along with the Dragon Knight on the side of Mineski X. So next gen's got way too many tanky heroes, and one of the best ways to deal with the Dragon Knight armor is the Slaughter, which also happens to be on the side of the Dire. So Mineski X doing the right thing by banning it out. While next gen Vietnam, the fourth ban on the board for them, what do they opt to remove here?
Reserve time.
Mineski, they still need... Well, their Mirana, their beloved Mirana is still in the pool and could be a pickup here. If they choose to. They'll be getting it in the second phase. No, it isn't. It's no longer an option. Next gen's done their homework and they'll ban the Mirana. Well done, sirs. You've banned out the Mirana and it's about damn time. So Doom will be picked up immediately after. That's more than likely going to be Johnny's hero. I'm very curious to see what Nick gets in his hands now, given that his standard staple diet has been removed. Next gen Vietnam though, third pick on the board for them. They need a couple of supports here and a middle laner. They'll start with the Phoenix. So team off lane for next gen Vietnam, picking up 3 potential off laners right from the start. I don't know though, this is, I'm almost certain this is going to be a support Phoenix coming out from them. The Darkseer and the Slaughter though, that's a little confusing. Is it going to be a one position Slaughter? It's been done in the past, I believe. Loda was a big fan of it back in the day. Although I'm not sure how viable that is in the current meta. Juggernaut's going to be the 4th pickup, so that should be Nick's hero in this particular matchup.
10
So we're still
seconds
looking at a
remaining.
mid hero to be picked up from Mineski X. Next
5
gen
seconds
Vietnam,
remaining.
what do they go for? They need their secondary support, or at least their middle laner now.
Reserve time.
The puck is still in the pool, as is the Wind Ranger. Both of which are fairly legit versus the Juggernaut. We could even see a Zeus pickup coming out, but the last time Kang went up mid as a lone druid against the Zeus, he pretty much decimated him. It'll be a Lion for now, so they're not going to give away too much, except for the fact that this is indeed going to be a core Slardar. So we should actually no. Yeah, it has to be a core Slardar, right? Which means if their last pick's going to be a mid, we're going to see a support Lion and a support Phoenix and a 1-position Slardar
10
now,
seconds
with
remaining.
Darkseer in the off lane, who's eventually just going to jump into the jungle, given that there's an Oracle on the side of Mineski X. Last bans on the board for game 1 of this best of 3 grand final. One of these two teams will be knocked out, while the other will proceed onwards to the main regional qualifiers. TNC were the first ones to pull off such a feat in qualifier number 1. Let's see which of these two heroes will be joining them. Full minute and 50 seconds on that reserve timer, ticking down for Mineski X, as they'll think through their 5th and final ban, and they will choose to remove the Invoker. So if it was going to be an Exhort Invoker, they'd have plenty of stuns and lockdowns on the side of Next Gen Vietnam to find pickoffs. But with that Invoker removed from the pool now, Next Gen Vietnam, what do they choose to ban? They know that Mineski
5
X
seconds remaining.
is looking for a support pickup now, unless they're expecting a support Doom here.
Reserve time.
But I think we know better than that. It's going to be Johnny on the Doom. Alright guys, I apologize. It looks like my internet went potato for a moment there. Hopefully you guys are okay on the stream. I'll need some feedback in chat guys, because I can't be sure if the stream's gone down or not until you guys let me know. So please be nice, give me some feedback and let me know if the stream is online. As I reconnect back into the game, hopefully we'll know what the 5th and final pickup is.
Reserve
Nope,
time.
we still don't know. It's a Tidehunter final ban coming out from Next Gen Vietnam, which means their last pick still a potential mid hero. My money is gonna be on the puck. No, it'll be the Phantom Lancer. So there's their late game security.
Team pick.
I'm expecting mid Lancer versus the Lone Druid. Not a very fun matchup for the Lone Druid, I have to say. As for Mineski X, what did they go for as their 5th and final pickup? They really don't have any sort of AoE clear for those illusions at the moment. And they are lacking in the lockdown department as well.
5 seconds remaining.
However, they could always transition this into a support Doom and then pick up something like, I don't know, maybe the Timbersaw or the Batrider for the Lasso initiation. As things stand, there's actually nothing to deal with the Batrider initiation, especially if he gets himself a BKB. I really do think a Bat would work wonders here. Anyway, Mineski X, they've got a full minute and 13 seconds to determine what they'll pin their hopes on as their 5th and final hero. I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're going to throw a curveball here and actually get that Batrider online, but the standard thing to do would be to get themselves a support, the Venge, possibly a pickup, maybe a support Lina, but then they're not going to have any real lockdown for that Darkseer. A Rubik could work though. I definitely think a Rubik could work this game for them. They'll have the telekinesis to deal with the Darkseer Surge during the laning phase, and stolen doppelgangers are always a pretty sight to see. Alright. Looks like the stream is okay. The delay has now
10
caught up,
seconds
and
remaining.
some of you guys tried to troll me on chat, but it looks like we have some good folk in the Twitch chat as well. Shout out to you, Dajui and Svens, Kungana, and RIK for letting me know that everything's cool. Alright, moving on with this game. Axe will be the last and final pick. There's the AoE clear and the pub counter to the Phantom Lancer, really. But if it works in pubs, why doesn't it work in a pro game as well? With the pure damage buff to the counter helix, it's all the more enticing to pick up that axe when you're really strapped for options. But it looks like they will rotate this into, well, convert this into a support Doom with Johnny going on the axe. So as we get this show on the road, ladies and gentlemen, a big thank you once again to everyone that's tuning in. It's Next Gen Vietnam up against Mineski X for the grand finals. Once again, I'm your host for this evening, CloudX from AFK Gaming, and it's been an absolute pleasure casting for the last 4 days for all the open qualifiers for SEA. TNC, they've already secured their slot at the Manila Major Regional Qualifiers. We'll find out soon if it's going to be Mineski X or Next Gen Vietnam. Will Malaysia's flag fly high, or will it be the Vietnamese one that makes it through to join the elite of SEA for a shot at the main event? Starting off with the introductions, and I apologize for any of these names that I don't get right. Pushin on Dr. Pushin on the Lion. You've got Tengu on the Slaughter. Dr. Durex on the Phantom Lancer. Magical on his Phoenix, and this is a name I can't pronounce, but I'm just going to call it Dat Pe Bong on the Darkseer. I apologize if I butchered any of these names, guys, but you probably know who they are better than I do. But on the side of Mineski X, some familiar faces will be witnessed as Johnny will be picking up this axe. You've got Oracle played by Extinct. Kang will be handling the Lone Druid, with Juggernaut played by Nick instead of his usual Mirana. And lastly, X Nova will be playing the support Doom. Alright, Lone Druid. He's actually opting to go off lane this game, which means we're going to see a mid Johnny on his axe. Is this for real? Yeah, it is going to be Johnny at mid. He's going up against Phantom Lancer, so they're going to use the Lancer counter right from the laning phase. Not bad. Bounty runes have been picked up one apiece, as is a standard start, with Johnny getting one along with the Lancer getting the other. Lancer did not call out a salve for himself, while Johnny opted to start with the counter helix and won't be calling a salve either. He started with very few items, really. He's got the Tango along with the Stout Shield, and then he got pulled 2 more Tangos over and above, realizing that the spam on that Spirit Lance could be quite the nuisance for him. At top lane, Kang's going to be going in a one-on-one matchup versus this Darkseer. So it does look like Next Gen has dodged the Oracle tri-lane, and Darkseer will not have too much of a problem here versus the Lone Druid. Although I would expect a lane swap perhaps, or maybe just the Oracle rotating top. However, Next Gen is still going to run a dual lane at bottom for now, with the Phoenix rotating into the jungle to slow down the Doom. Now that I think about it, there's actually multiple benefits on running an offensive tri-lane for Next Gen Vietnam. Apart from dodging, of course, the Oracle with the Darkseer, they're also going to be able to harass the Doom in the jungle with the Phoenix and the Lion rotating in from time to time. For now, Johnny's going to get zoned out with the Kamehameha or the Sunray. However, Dr. Durex, he realizes that this lane is going to be a little difficult for him, with Axe maxing out the counter helix and the Qual. However, this is definitely a dangerous lane for the Slaughter and the Lion, because with the Fortune's End and the Blade Fury, these Mineski X heroes could have the tools needed to find a kill. No first blood has been spilled just yet. We're getting to the 2-minute mark, with the next 2 runes will spawn, as Magical will make his way back towards this bottom lane. Let's have a look at how the Lone Druid's been doing up top. 8 CS on the Darkseer with just 6 on the Lone Druid. The Creep Wave is under his tier 1 tower, but the Ion Shell, it's doing work versus that Spirit Pair. Bottom lane, Sunray is going to be used. The Blade Fury from Nick as well. Looks like it's a defensive one this time around. However, no blood will be spilled just yet. There's just so much tension all over this map. I'm really not sure where the first blood's going to happen. It could be at the middle lane with Johnny and the Lancer just duking it out time and again. Or it could be at the middle lane where probability would state that middle lane is the best place, given that there's more heroes just concentrated here. Well, back at top, Darkseer just balling out of control here. 18 CS now. And even forces out the resummon on the Spirit Bear. While middle lane, Magical's gonna rotate in. He's still got the Sunray available if he wants to piss Johnny off a bit more. Johnny opted to get himself the bottle, so we're probably gonna expect him to put a couple of points into the Battle Hunger in addition to the Qual. Bottom lane again, everyone's grouping up. X-Nova doesn't have the opportunity to free farm in the jungle. Instead, his presence is required in the lane here. The Unholy Aura for the HP regen. Or the Unholy, yeah, it's an aura, but it doesn't seem to be buffing up his allies for some reason. So, I guess it's a single target aura, if that makes any sense. Either way, he's back in the jungle. Meanwhile, Phoenix just does a loop-de-loop in the bottom lane. Still not able to find any targets just yet. In theory, I do feel like Mineski X has the tools needed to get a kill in this lane. They could quite comfortably run down this Lion once they get a couple of levels on that Blade Fury. But it might come at the cost of a couple of kills on the side of Next Generation as well. Meanwhile, Doom decides that it's time for him to make a rotation mid as well. This comes in to try and zone out Dr. Durex, but he's not going to be bothered as he went for the rune at the exact same time. Everyone's just content at farming up and getting their money for now. There's a Dire Observer Ward even watching this lone druid pull creeps to the side, but now the Iron Shell should be able to clean up on this stack of neutrals. Darkseer, he's going for the bear. He's used the surge, but the Savage Roar will send him right back into the creep wave. Missed it. First blood, bottom lane. Looks like Extinct will get the first blood on Dr. Pushin, but Juggernaut's going to go down. They did throw the Purifying Flames. Another one follows up as Extinct makes it a double. He's looking for more Magical. A punch and then the Purifying Flames. Triple kill for him as well as Mineski X have come out the door, all guns blazing. In fact, even top lane, the Darkseer ends up going down on the back of a rotation from the Doom. These guys, man, you blink and you miss it. They've opened fire all across the map and found the mark, giving up just one death. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the fight recap there, but it is going to be a big blow in favor of Mineski X. You already see the graph taken off there. 1500 net worth in favor of Mineski X. And about 1000 EXP going their way as well. Back at mid, meanwhile, Johnny. He's up to level 6 and has the dunk ready to go. Dr. Durex thinking of running in there, but that didn't seem like the best move from him, really. Phoenix. Another loop-de-loop gonna be done. They're gonna use the Sunray. The call is there. Dr. Durex, he's not within range of the tower, and Johnny will not stick around to find out what happens next as he TPs himself back to the base. So it does look like Next Generation are winning the middle lane at the very least. With a good 29 CS on that Phantom Lancer and a base trip for the Axe. He's also going to get the next rune at the top river, and at the same time at top, the Darkseer, while he might have suffered a death, is now getting a lot of money from this pull to the neutral camps. But there's the Midas already finished up on the lone druid, as he'll consume the Ion Shell to creep and clean up the stack for himself. Bottom lane, Earth Spike comes through. Juggernaut does have the Blade Fury while Pushin. He'll cut a path through the trees and walk himself out of there. .38 CS on this lone druid, some of those from neutral creeps as well. He's doing really well for himself and is on top of the net worth chart with a sub 6 minute Midas picked up for himself. Next Generation, they're going to have to control the snowball potential that Mineski X's lineup has in it. Well, Axe uses the call on a bunch of Lancer illusions. He's not going to be able to kill off this Lancer as easily as he had expected. He did opt to max out the counter Helix though, so no points in the battle hunger just yet. You've got a Windlace picked up in addition to the Boots of Speed now for Nick, which means he should be in a comfortable position to run down heroes with the Blade Fury. Probably not the Slara, who's got 2 points in the sprint, but the Lion is still easy game. No, X-Nova, he's going to run in up this top lane. They do have the Purge, but that was a good move coming out from the Darkseer, using the Surge a little late, but they're still going to run him down. The Infernal Blade comes through, and another hit will seal the deal. The low cooldown on that Purge is working wonders versus the Darkseer, as X-Nova shows that he can play the Doom as well as Johnny, if not better. Meanwhile, bottom, there's a dive happening here as the Slaughter, he's gone in on Extinct. Extinct will survive for now. The Healing Ward will help keep them alive, as he'll now heal himself further with the Purifying Flames, and even throws down the Arcane Boots to get them back in fighting shape. With that, Phoenix is probably going to have to make a base trip. He opted to pick up the Infused Raindrops, which will set his Tranquil Boots further behind. While the Slaughter, it looks like he's opting to ditch the Tranquil Boots himself in lieu of the Blink Dagger. Back at mid though, Lancer, he's now up to a good 45 CS. He's taken a bit of a beating from Johnny's Axe, as Doom is coming as well, but Doom's got no mana to work with. He's just sticking around here, hoping to get level 6 while the Axe farms, and then he'll back away possibly to heal up. Bottom lane, are we going to see a fight breaking out? Phoenix, he did get hit by the Fortune's End, but the dive helps him get out to safety. While Extinct's got a lot of mana to work with right now. They could consider making a play here. Sprint will be used. Fortune's End is being channeled. They'll throw it out deep under the tier 1 tower. They want to commit. The Omni Slash is available, but Juggernaut decides that this is way too risky, especially when heroes could TP in at that tower. Magical, meanwhile, he'll skirt around the sidelines and get away. But there are pings coming out, which means that Extinct and Nick do know that he's hanging around on the sidelines. Lone Druid, meanwhile, he's still going out of control on this top lane. 4,700 net worth for him. Midas will be coming back online in a bit again, and his Relic is getting closer and closer.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
5-1 so far. Mineski X still holding on to their lead, extending it by a bit, as it's up to 3,000 net worth in their favor, and about 3,000 EXP as well. Meanwhile, the Doom, he does have his ult online, but he's not sure if that's an illusion. He'll drop the Infernal Blade. He knows it now. They'll use the Doppelganger. Durex is going to be scouted out here. Johnny's giving chase. The call will not connect, as Dr. Durex will make it out to safety. Perhaps the hesitation worked against him there. Not knowing whether or not that was an illusion really costed him a bit. Now Nick's getting run down with the Sunray. He turns with the Omni Slash. The Crush gets dodged. Oracle is cleaned up on the Phoenix, but they're going to keep Nick alive a little longer. Purifying Flames on top of the False Promise. Will he be able to survive? Yes, he can. But Phantom Lancer comes in and takes away the dominating streak from this Oracle, making the trade well worth it for next generation esports.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Let's have a look at Johnny again. He's inching really close to that Blink Dagger. Once he gets it, I think that's Mineski's moment to shine. While the Dark's here, he's struggling to get his mechanism online. He's at 1,000 gold now. His net worth, 4th on the board right now with a decent 63 CS. But now the dive's coming in as Nick will get blown up. Earth Spike into the finger, into the lance, as Lion will get the kill. Dr. Durex gets caught by the Fortune's End. He's really far out. Johnny, even rotating in, gets hit by an amp damage. And now again Dr. Durex goes in. They'll use the call. They want the dunk, but the Crush is there. It'll hold him in position, and with the Earth Spike, he's getting no more counter Helix procs. Unfortunate for him there, but Johnny will go down. Extinct gets run down under his own tier 1 tower as well, making it a 3-for-0 trade in favor of next generation Vietnam, who will also claim an objective on the back of that. in the form of this tier 1 tower.
Radiant's bottom tower has
Meanwhile, Lone Druid continues to farm up in this top lane at 89 CS. He doesn't look like he's going to show any signs of stopping, but there's the big one. The Blink Dagger finished up on Slaughter. And space creation activities will begin shortly. TP's coming in at mid. The Earth Spike not connecting on the Juggernaut there. Will force him, or rather prompt him to back away. We're going to see an immediate smoke as next generation, they've hit their timing window. With that blink, they're going to try and catch their opponents off guard. Mineski X are definitely going to fall prey to this by the looks of it, as Slaughter's running in. They've got the Phoenix with the Supernova available as well. This tier 1 tower looks like it'll be defended. The Crush is there, catches 2. X-Nova gets the false promise thrown on him. He's making a run for it. The Sunray and the Spirit Lance though chasing him down. He might just die here. Supernova gets popped as well. And that'll be the dead Doom in front of the Supernova egg that's gonna come back out of its shell. Meanwhile, Kang's gonna get run down as well with the amp damage. Phoenix with the Sunray will get the kill. This is turning into a complete bloodbath on this top lane. The Lancer getting a double kill, even chasing down the Oracle. It's 7-8 now in favor of next generation Vietnam, making that a 3-for-1 trade. The Darkseer, the only real casualty, who's really close to his own mechanism.
Radiant structures are fortified.
While Juggernaut uses this time to farm, the death on the Lone Druid is a pretty significant one against Mineski X. But that blink from Slaughter, ignoring the Oracle sitting in the tree line, knowing that there's bigger fish to fry under their tier 1 tower. That was a very good decision from him. And it turned out to be the one
Radiant's top tower
that secured the tier 1 tower for them at this top lane. Now Johnny's got a blink as well. And he's thinking of going in on this Darkseer, but Darkseer's got a good 1100 HP. So I'm not sure if Johnny's really going to be able to get this kill. Perhaps with this Doom rotating in, they should be able to find it. But Doom, he knows that this is happening. This Dire Observer Ward, scouting out his rotation, will allow the Darkseer to back away safely to farm his mech. Top lane, they're going to crush onto Kang again. Kang is going to be RIP very soon with the Phoenix Sunray finishing the job on him. Magical. This Slaughter, I mean, he's really been the MVP so far of every single game we've watched. Once he gets the Blink Dagger, space creation is really an easy task for him. Here goes the Lancer, but this time he's gonna get called. They do have the Doom available, but the Earth Spike catches 2. The fingers thrown onto Johnny. The whack into the wall is there as well, as the Lance gets thrown onto the axe. He'll barely make it out alive. But Juggernaut comes in from behind, cleans up with the Omni Slash onto the line, gets that kill. He's got a Blade Fury in 4 seconds time, but now he's going to be slowed and run down by a Surge Darkseer. The Crush comes through with the False Promise with the Blade Fury, helps the Juggernaut to make his escape. The Supernova on the front line zones out the entirety of Mineski X. Even the stun connects onto him. He does get hit by the Fate's Edict. He'll be alive for a little longer, but Lancer continues to run him down. In fact, he's thinking of chasing. They'll lance him up onto the high ground as well. The Crush does not connect though. And Juggernaut will survive. But look at the confidence from next generation Vietnam. There's a tier 1 tower still standing, but they don't give 2 hoots. They're going to charge all the way behind enemy lines into their base. And now they're even going in on Kang at top,
Radiant's middle tower is
who'll use the Savage Roar and get away. No resummon on the bear though, and the bear does seem to be dead for a while, which will be a base trip for that Lone Druid. Mineski X, have they met their match here in the form of the Vietnamese powerhouse? Johnny comes in with a completely whiffed call, and that ought to be his death. There is a Doom available, but X-Nova chose not to use it, allowing the Phoenix to jump away with the Icarus dive. Another Fortune's End comes in, but it's too far out for Mineski X to try and make anything happen. Lone Druid, he'll find himself at the middle lane now. With the courier heading to the shop, he's going to get himself that sacred relic within the first 16 to 17 minutes of this game. Once again, Slaughter threatening to initiate with the Blink Dagger will force Mineski X back onto their high ground. Next generation Vietnam still just doing the dance of death here on this middle lane slope, but there is a Radiant Observer Ward which will prevent Mineski from getting caught out of position. They smoked almost under the ward. I'm not sure if Mineski saw that. They weren't paying attention clearly because now they're gonna get jumped. The crush comes out. Again, the false promise keeping the Juggernaut alive. There's a Doom thrown down onto the Slaughter, so he can't re-engage for a while. But Johnny, he's getting run down by this Lancer. And this time it looks like he could be going down. The Purifying Flames were thrown on him, but it's not nearly enough as Darkseer will get the kill with the Ion Shell, making it another 1-for-0 trade. A Doom baited out, a False Promise baited out as well, and the Tier 1 tower taken away by the Vietnamese team. Gang says to hell with that, I'm gonna go do my thing. He's almost got his Radiance online, and once he gets the Radiance, he's gonna have a spike in power that he could bring to the table for his allies. But that spike could just about to be... It looks like it's just about to be taken away. Kang, is he gonna get crushed? Oh, he is gonna get crushed. And here comes the Lancer as well. That's a dead Lone Druid and a delayed Radiance on him. With no Savage Door available, Darkseer's Ion Shell will secure the kill on Lancer. (8 to 13). Next generation. Showing that they are no pushovers. Mineski X trying to do what they can here to come back from this, but what is their comeback mechanic here really? Perhaps a Doom on... a Blink on the Doom. Maybe that's what they need to get the jump on their opponents. Johnny, he's not been able to find successful Blinks and Calls.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Missed
attack.
another one as top lane. They end up bringing down the Juggernaut with the Lancer and the Slaughter. Yet again, these two heroes just
Radiant's bottom
refused to
tower
move
is
without
under
one
attack.
another, and this time they even had the double damage doing on Lancer, allowing him to secure another kill. Mineski X are on the ropes. Next generation, they're dancing circles around their opponents. Johnny is gonna get run down with this Sunray. It's a maxed out Sunray at that. Well, Kang, he's finally managing to get closer to his Radiance, but another pick off here could be devastating for him. I love the way that next generation next generation Vietnam has commandeered the enemy jungle though. They've dropped down sentry wards, de-warding, ensuring that they won't be spotted going in through these choke points. And again, we're going to see them group up as a 5-man unit. This mid-observer ward though, it should have scouted out this movement, which should prompt Mineski X to get defensive. They popped a smoke of their own with the Bear leading the charge here. It should scout out the Slaughter. But they're in position. The Bear using the Savage Door immediately. As Johnny, he's going to be scouted by this dire observer ward. This is exactly where next generation wants to fight, I believe. They've got wards behind the tower and they've got full vision of Mineski X's shenanigans. With the Bear now being run down again. It's out of mana. Can't use a Savage Drawer and it will be stunned in position with the Sunray again. Percentage damage seems to be working its magic here. Or rather pure damage seems to be working its damage here. Well, going forward, you've got Pushin coming in. They'll get the crush, the wall, the vac onto 2. They'll blow up the axe before he can initiate. The supernovas on the front line. But Phoenix could be going down here. Indeed he will, as Doom gets the kill. But now they're running in further. Another crush comes out. The doppelganger forward. Doom thrown down onto the Slaughter, who's going to back away under cover of the surge. Doom's probably going to go down even under cover of that false promise. But here comes Nick with the Blade Fury trying to do what he can. The X-Nova actually survived that. Oh, his frog, please. But as the dust settles, it's a Phoenix traded for the axe. They even managed to blow him up before he initiated. So Johnny not being a factor in that fight. A minor gold swing towards Mineski X, but the tier 2 tower stands, and I think that's the bigger deal here for the Radiant side. Armlet finished up on the Slaughter, so he's going to hit like a truck as well. He's actually jumped in, and the Sunray is going to keep him alive a little longer. It was a defensive Sunray used, but it does manage to get the Lone Druid Spirit Bear down. He's 76 seconds without a bear now, and it looks like next generation knows this. As Extinct, he's going to get pummeled to his own death. The Omni Slash comes out, killing off the Slaughter, and now it's Mineski X trying to turn this around. They don't have the Doom to work with, but the Dunk will finish the job on Darkseer. But Johnny's going to go down as Phoenix with the Kamehameha from behind, just manages to find kill after kill. They'll even run down the Juggernaut, making it a double kill for this Phoenix. Another 3-for-2 trade in favor of next generation. And without the Spirit Bear, without the Radiance on the Bear, they're not going to be able to defend this tier 2 tower. Heck, next generation might even get some chip damage done on the high ground. Now this is a lot more characteristic of the SEA Dota I'm used to seeing, where teams love to fight often and throw their bodies at their opponents at every minor opportunity that they get. Next generation Vietnam, the embodiment of SEA, classic SEA Dota really. On Mineski X, they're trying to calm the heck down and slow things down to suit their situation really. But it's just not working at the moment. The bear is being brought down in a jiffy with the amp and the sun ray. And Mineski X, it looks like their draft might have just been figured out. Next generation went into this lone druid pick with a plan ready for it. And it seems to be working. The smokes, they're going to get dispelled here as next generation will go in. The crush not working out for the slaughter. They actually crushed and then blinked. A bit of a misplay, but Johnny's getting blown up. The Doom comes out onto the Phoenix. They'll get the mech off on him, but X-Nova, he's out of mana now, and it looks like Phantom Lancer is spreading his Ebola on the battlefield, but he could be getting dunked here. He uses the Doppelganger, tries to make a run for it. He's gonna go down. That's an unstoppable streak taken away by the Juggernaut, and Mineski X are making a comeback as Slaughter's on the run. He'll get dunked to death as well. Magical doesn't have the Icarus dive for another 12 seconds. The chase is on, and Mineski X are fighting back. They're going to consider going forward. The Supernova is going to get used after a couple of Fire Spirits thrown down, but it's not going to be successful as the egg will be cracked. And on the back of that, a tier 1 tower should be taken down. I think the Slaughter crush into the blink as opposed to the blink into the crush is what started that series of unfortunate events really for next generation.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
So Kang has managed to find himself a little more money with the Radiance online. He's looking to build his Vlads next. While the Juggernaut, he's got his Yasha and another 2k gold in the bank. So a Mantis Tail looks to be his item of choice. Courier's headed towards the shop, but that'll be just to deliver the Vlads for now. While X-Nova, he did opt to get the Doom for himself. And that did allow him to delay the Phoenix's initiation in that last fight. But next generation Vietnam, they're no pushovers. They know exactly what to do at any given moment here, as they will next jump into the Rosh Pit with the amp damage and the physical DPS. They'll bring down Roshan in a jiffy, while Mineski X has no clue that this was even going on. Smoke's been popped immediately after that rush. The scan's even going to give away some of Mineski X's positions here on the mini-map. They do have a scan. No, they don't have a scan available on the side of Mineski X though. So they can't spot out the smoke rotation, but their spidey senses are tingling enough to let them know that they should be standing back. However, with the Aegis picked up now on the Lancer, he's also got himself a reverse, so he's not going for the traditional Manta style build. Instead, opting to pick up raw HP to work with.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Slaughter, I'm wondering if this armlet really was the right choice. It sure does boost his DPS output, but they've got plenty of that coming from the Phantom Lancer. They've also got burst damage from the Lion. Something like a 4-star for mobility perhaps, or a Glimmer Cape to deal with the Doom. Those would have been good choices. Smoke from Mineski X. Despite having the Aegis on next generation Vietnam, Mineski X will look to make a play here. If they can find a pick off now. Oh, Lancer's gonna walk straight into the axe, but Johnny not getting the call off. Now he's gonna get it done, but the Sun Ray is coming through again while healing up the Lancer. It's gonna hurt Johnny as well, as Dr. Durex ends up turning that one around on its head. Mineski X quick to retreat from that fight, realizing that they went into an Aegis Lancer, and that really was the last target that they could have looked for with that Smoke of Deceit. Next generation, they're happy with this pick off, and they're looking to get more, as this tier 2 tower will be taken down. Will they commit to the high ground now is the key question. They've got a good 20 seconds till the Lancer, till the axe respawns, but instead they'll move themselves up top while the Lone Druid continues to use the bear to split push with the Radiance Burn. He's biding their time, hoping and praying that Mineski X can get a few more big items on their heroes. The Blade Mail will be the next big pickup for this axe, while the Lone Druid looks like he's going to be building towards the Assault Cuirass with a Chainmail already picked up. Now, Mineski X has shown us already that they are the comeback kings, really. That second game versus RRQ, the base race that they won was just absurd. Maybe, just maybe, they'll pull out something similar here in game 1 of the best of 3 grand finals. They're regaining map control bit by bit, dewarding on their high grounds. The next generation, it's their turn to smoke now. They will be going on the hunt. It looks like they might just be going towards the wrong end of the map, because the entirety of Mineski X is grouped up on the top side. The entirety except for X Nova, that is, who's farming defensively in his own jungle. Bottom tier 2 though, the lane is pushing in and next generation is expecting someone to come in here to farm. They've even dropped the observer ward to watch for a TP on this tower. Doom, is he gonna take the bait? Maybe not. The smoke's been dispelled and next generation will reveal their positions as they start to barrel down this tier 2 tower now. They've still got the Aegis for a little longer here. I think it's 2 more minutes before the Aegis times out. And they should be looking to put it to use. Mineski X knows that they can't fight at their tier 2. Instead, they'll try and split push perhaps the top lane, while the bear continues to do work at the middle lane. Lancer though, he's made his intentions amply clear as he's jumped straight up onto the high ground, even using his illusion as bait, sending it on the side under cover of that battle hunger. Dr. Durexi's been hit with the entangle though in the enemy base, but it doesn't really matter. The Sunray heals him back a bit. He's just looking to throw away that Aegis by the looks of it, but he's got the heart and he can back up and come back with the regen in just a bit. They've done some chip damage, very little chip damage at that, on the tier 3, while Mineski X has been forced back towards this bottom lane. Well, that's the Aegis now taken away. As the regen kicks in on Lancer, Roshan will respawn in another 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Well, bottom lane, Kang, he's finally going to have his Assault Cuirass online and ready to go. Let's have a look at the Juggernaut. I do believe he's got the Mantis style and he's building towards the Battle Fury next. So another tool, or rather their only tool, to deal with the Phantom Lancer, since the axe does not seem to be much of a factor at this moment. Meanwhile, the Graphs, next generation with a very minor lead so far. They've got about 3,000 gold going their way, with EXP sitting a little further down there, about 6,000 EXP in their favor. Lone Druid again, it looks like he's gonna lose his bear. No more Savage Roar available. They'll use the vacuum to cancel the pullback, and that's another easy 300 gold secured by the Docs here, who's now picked up a Glimmer Cape in addition to the Blink and the Greaves. Split push is the name of the game though for Mineski X. They know that they can't really take a successful team fight in the face of that Supernova and everything else really that next generation is throwing at them. Slaughter's been getting some great initiations for the most part. So Mineski X instead will rotate around the map, forcing next generation to back away time and again. But Mineski, they're probably going to lose X Nova here. He's been hit with the finger, everything being thrown against Slaughter, missing on the crush, but it doesn't matter. X Nova will run face first into his death like a real man. That's not over just yet though, because Okay, the Savage Roar into the TP will allow this lone druid to get out of there. However, the Darks here, I believe he did have the vacuum available. Which means that if it was anything apart from a Savage Roar connecting on him, that could have been a dead lone druid. Battle Fury, how far are we away from it for Nick? He's just got the Perseverance finished up now. Nothing in the courier for him. Next gen Vietnam grouping up against, and they're looking to take down the last remaining outer tower here from Mineski X.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Axe finally has his blade mail online now, and he's probably gonna be looking to make plays, or at least clear up the Phantom Lancer illusion. Speaking of Lancer, he's now picked up a Yasha in addition to the Heart and the Diffusal Blade. He is getting out of control here, and if he isn't contained in these team fights, he's gonna decimate all over he's gonna pretty much destroy his opponents. Phoenix going for the Vlads to augment his team's DPS output. But middle lane, again the bear is going to get ganked, and RIP bear. It's another casual 300 gold being claimed by next generation Vietnam. There is a resummon. He's actually resummoned the bear already and started sending it up towards the top side. And that was a bear with the assault cuirass that got destroyed in a matter of seconds. Roshan will respawn in less than a minute now, and next generation Vietnam knows that he's just around the corner, which is why they'll keep checking the pit time to time. They've got full map control at the moment, and they can pretty much abuse the fact that Aegis is theirs to claim. All they've got to do is continuously apply momentum to the mid and the bottom lanes, and Roshan will be theirs. 14 seconds, 10 seconds to go till Roshan respawns. Lion probably just wants to stick around in the pit a little longer. Patience is a virtue, my friend, but not for this support Lion. He just respawns as he leaves the pit. Next generation not catching wind of that. Once again, they pushed out the lanes. Maybe they'll move back into the pit and check. But Mineski X, they'll continue to push out this top lane in the meanwhile. Phoenix shows himself. He is near his tier 2 tower though, so jumping him might not be the best idea. The bear again is gonna get ganked here. There is no resummon for 30 seconds. Savage Roar will get used. Dr. Pushin is not gonna get in range, and this time the bear will live to tell the tale to his master. Nick's gonna have his Battle Fury online for the next fight though, and that should give them another tool to deal with the Lancer illusions. But now Roshan's been spotted, and they've already moved into the pit. They'll make quick work of him and claim the Aegis yet again. Lancer, he does have a slot for it, as he did finish up that Manta Style. Bringing down the Lancer twice seems like an extremely tall order, really. Can Mineski X really pull this one off? They've slowed down the pace of this game, and that definitely is to their advantage. But this is going to give them a fresh boost of confidence. The Lone Druid Bear, it's going to try and make its escape. Yep, it's going to be okay. The Savage Roar will be used to send the Slaughter back, and Darkseer is not going to catch up to it in time. He's got a resummon available as well, so he's just going to keep farming before the push comes to his high ground. There's a full 10-second BKB that I failed to mention here on the Slaughter, and the Glimmer Cape's finished up on the Darkseer as well. But here we go, the fight's broken out, or rather, the high ground has been breached. The bear, is it gonna die down here? Nope, it'll survive. As Phoenix can't finish the job with the Sunray. He's moved up onto the high ground. Lancer spawning illusions all over the place. As they'll now pummel away. They've jumped in onto Dr. Durex. Remember, he still has that Aegis. Jumping on him is probably not the best move. The Earth Spike's there on the bear, and the bear will be taken apart this time around. They've got the resummon. They've used it already. At the high ground, slowly but surely, will be assaulted here. Nick, he's in trouble, but the false promise is there, dodging the damage from the Finger of Death. The Omni Slash is bouncing around as well. The walls drop next. X Nova, he did manage to get the Doom off on the Phoenix, while the Surge will send him a little further behind. Nobody's died just yet at all on either side. Just the Aegis taken away from the Lancer, and Mineski X look like they might be in a position to hold their high ground. The call is there, but the Savage Roar as well sends the Lancer further behind. Now Slaughter will be the first casualty of this entire fight. Lone Druid gets that kill, but Johnny will drop to the Lancer next. Dr. Durex, he's dropping low and he will get taken apart. It's a double kill for the Lone Druid, who's managed to keep his fight going so far, but the Lone Druid dies. Can the rest of his teammates avenge him? With the Slaughter and the Lancer down, this chase should be a possibility for Mineski X. With the Slaughter out for the count, they've got no form of counter initiation, but the Juggernaut cannot chase down anyone without a blink dagger. So 38 minutes in, a successful high ground defense being displayed here by Mineski X. They're slowly but surely mounting a bit of a comeback while the Graphs are still escaping them. They aren't that far apart. A 5,000 difference in net worth and EXP about 38 minutes in is literally nothing. One big team fight could probably turn the tides back the other way. I don't believe there were any buybacks in that last fight. Nope, no one's on cooldown for buyback. Which means that the Juggernaut did survive that fight. Oh, the Hex on a creep. Immediate Blade Fury away. That should have been a kill on the Juggernaut, but a misplay from Dr. Pushin goes punished. Lone Druid will now pick up the Maelstrom in addition to that Radiance, so they really are going all out to deal with the illusion spam from that Phantom Lancer. Back at top, that's an upgraded Diffusal Blade, now finished up for the Lancer, but he's definitely feeling a bit spooked after that last fight where he did end up losing his life. Lone Druid's damage output being heavily underestimated there by Next Generation Esports. The longer this game goes, the more I start favoring Mineski X. They've got a Juggernaut to build into a full physical DPS / tank mode, along with Lone Druid, who's basically two heroes if it gets the ultra late game phase. I'd expect the Mjolnir to be completed up on the Lone Druid as the next item, followed up with an Aghanim Scepter perhaps on his person, maybe even a BKB for himself. But top lane, they're trying to use Johnny as bait. Johnny, he's picked up the point booster, so he's still opting to go for the Aghanim Scepter over and above a possible Shiver's Guard. I do feel like a Shiver's Guard would have added more value here. Have a look at those gold graphs again. Slowly, we're seeing Mineski pulling it back towards their side. The EXP graph, following a similar pattern. Well, X Nova, he's sitting in the tree lines here. They're really expecting someone to show up and farm here, but most of Next Generation Vietnam Zeros are at the bottom side of the map. This is the calm before the storm, folks. Expecting another explosive team fight over the next few minutes, but you can definitely see the caution being displayed by both teams. It tends to happen in a grand final matchup where both teams know that there's a lot at stake. Neither side is going to feel happy about losing this particular matchup. Next Generation had an explosive start. Mineski X have been showing signs of a comeback. And losing it from this point will definitely be painful for either side. Doom looks like he'll be the one building the Shiver's Guard, which is why the Axe is going for the Aghanim Scepter this game. But for now, it's just going to remain as a casual plate mail with another 2200 gold in his bank account. The Aegis, no longer available. That was Dr. Durex going down with the Aegis in that last team fight. And Roshan's not going to respawn for at least another couple of minutes. It's both teams making a conscious attempt to dodge each other. Slada though, did he get a chance to use his BKB the last fight? Yeah, looks like it's down to 9 seconds. Now Tengu is running around. He could be caught out here. They're going to jump him with the call. He is out here by himself and they will make mincemeat out of that slaughter. Next Generation Vietnam finally gonna walk into the trap that Mineski X has been trying to lay on the top lane for so long. Turns out bottom lane was a better place to lay it. X Nova meanwhile. Now he's got 2700 gold in the bank. The question is, does he hold on to the buyback or does he buy out that Mystic Staff? Full Mjolnir finished up on the Lone Druid, which gives them another power spike, as he does have another 3900 gold in the bank. He should be looking to save up that buyback while proceeding towards his next big item, which I would assume is either the Boots of Travels or the Aghanim Scepter. But he really has creeped ahead in terms of net worth bit by bit. He's at 25,000 now. And the Juggernaut is slowly catching up as he's opted to pick up a Blink Dagger as his next item. The scan did not scout anyone out there as Next Generation again attempting a gank on the bear. But Mineski X will dodge them again. In the jungle though, there's a Radiant Observer Ward that scouted out this Phoenix's movements. Mineski X are too spooked to try and make anything happen here. BKB is gonna be picked up on the Lone Druid, so I guess I was wrong. He'll be going for the BKB on his bear first before building that Ags. So now it's not gonna be kited around and disabled as much in the team fights. Not a bad decision at all actually. Roshan's back. That's actually a pretty quick respawn. As Next Generation Vietnam will go to work on it. Mineski X yet again unable to contest this. They'll find an Aegis and a cheese this time, dropping from Roshan's pockets. It'll be the Lancer that picks up the Aegis. He actually opted to pick up a BKB for himself as well, so that's a 10-second duration on the BKB. While the cheese will be held on to by the Slaughter.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Johnny, he has the money to buy that Aghanim Scepter now, but he's choosing to hold on to the money. But top Nick will be going down, and that could be an invitation for Next Generation to start pushing. He'll want to force the buyback out. There's a full minute till the Juggernaut respawns, but Lion's gonna have to make a base trip and regenerate by the looks of it. He opted to go for the Arcane Boot, so he doesn't have HP regen kicking in from the Tranquils. Unless, of course, they're gonna drop a Sunray on him. But he will have the Finger of Death back online in just 12 seconds time. It's a maxed out finger at that. And here we go. Next Generation looking to force the buyback out. They've gone in though. Johnny getting initiated upon. Johnny will be brought down. He does have a buyback. Juggernaut already buys back into this. as Slaughter is getting pummeled by the bear. The bear is now getting hit back by the Lancer. No BKB used on the bear just yet. Double buyback coming out as the axe buys out as well. And that'll be the retreat from Next Generation. What did he just finger there? I think he fingered a Juggernaut Illusion. Didn't quite catch that. But 2 buybacks on the side of Mineski X with Next Generation Vietnam getting what they came for. Even getting a little bit of damage on that tier 3. And the economic damage. Oh, what have you done, Phoenix? That had to be unintentional. The stress is really getting to these players. First the Lion Hex is a creep. Now Phoenix misclicks the Supernova. That was actually really clowny, guys. I'm sorry, I can't stop myself. But I can completely get where these players are coming from. They've been playing all day today and all day yesterday. And now they're in a best of 3 that could determine the fate of their team's success going forward. The winner gets in a cushy spot with a 1-game lead in this best of 3 series. And both teams really want that victory badly. Now Johnny's thinking of jumping in here. He's under cover of a smoke. There's no Aegis available on... Oh wait, there is an Aegis available on Next Generation. Missed that one. But the chase, it's going to be going the other way now. Extinct. Will the crush come through? Yep, it will. Dead Oracle indeed. And again, maybe we... Oh, he's actually jumped up onto the cliff to get that crush. But maybe we see another push being mounted now by Next Generation. Any pick-off is good and is reason for them to try and force the issue, given how far ahead they are right now. 2 more minutes till the Aegis gets reclaimed even. They're going to try and force out... They're probably not expecting the Oracle to have a buyback, but they'll see that he does and they'll probably force it out anyway, dealing another economic blow to Mineski X. Here we go. There's the buyback. Does Next Generation still commit? Because Dr. Durex is on the cliff. He's taken quite the beating though. And he's down to about half HP. They're going on the bear. Phoenix. Is he going to jump in this time? He doesn't. Yeah, he does have the Supernova ready now. So they could go in. Doppelganger gets used. Juggernaut actually blinks forward. And there's the Supernova being used defensively inside or outside the base. He didn't Icarus dive in. And that'll be enough to zone out Mineski X. Doom actually blinked in, hoping to get the Doom off on the Phoenix. But now without the Supernova, Mineski X has hit a timing window of their own, where they could try and push out or find a pick-off under cover of a smoke. Do they have any smokes available though? Let's have a look at their shop. Yep, there is one smoke still in stock, but no smokes on any of their person right now. There it is. Looks like they did have a smoke available. So Mineski X looking to make a play, but Next Generation should know that this is the most obvious move from Mineski X now. Knowing that there's an opportunity, they'll try and grab it. And they'll also pick up the double damage rune. There was an observer ward from the Dire watching this. Scan's even going to find out the Lancer, but they jumped onto the illusions and only on illusions with Johnny. And that will be enough to send off warning bells for Next Generation Vietnam to back away. Kang's got himself that Aghanim Scepter now, so his bear can go rampant without him having to be around with the leash. I really don't know what you build on a Lone Brood at this point. I'm guessing Boots of Travels. And then you think, do I start becoming a hero myself? Or do I just let my bear do the dirty work? He can still get rid of the Quelling Blade though, and get one more item on the bear. Maybe an Abyssal Blade. Or perhaps even an MKB. No, it's actually the MKB finished up on the Lancer, but I don't know, man. I'm not too much of a fan of this. There's no butterfly on the side of Mineski X. They've got the Radiance Evasion from the bear, but that's about it. Lancer, one of those heroes that benefits from raw stats because his illusions then do a lot more damage as well. Ascari might have been a good choice, but given that he is 6 slotted now and he opted to put the BKB into one of those slots, an MKB as a preemptive pickup versus a potential butterfly on the side of Mineski X. Seems like an alright choice. Meanwhile, Extinct, he's got himself that Ether Lens, but no buyback since he had expended the last time around. I want to look at the GPM for a moment. 700 on Kang, as he's still on top of the net worth chart. The buyback status available for only 3 heroes in this game: the Darkseer, the Doom, and the Lone Druid. And without the Aegis, next generation
Is under attack.
is still not willing to commit to a fight just yet. Meanwhile, the bear, oh man, that's gonna leave a mark. PKB on the bear, ratting casually with that Aghanim Scepter buff. The bear can indeed go ham. They forced out the fortification. Rat Dora has begun. Mineski X, the last game they showed us how they do it with illusions and disruptor illusions. Oh, sorry, Shadow Demon illusions. This game, they're gonna do it with a super fed bear. This is just experience coming into play from Mineski X. That one really did catch next generation esports off guard. The tower's taken more damage than any of Mineski X's towers now, and suddenly the tables seem to have turned. But this is clearly one of the closest games of Dota that I've ever seen in my life. It's been up and down right from the start of this game with no clear indication of who's going to come out ahead. Next generation feeling threatened by the bear again, but it'll instantly jump back to its master. Pings coming out at top. Rinse and repeat. Push out another lane. There it is. He's picked up the Basher, and the Abyssal Blade will be his next item choice. He's probably spotted out the MKB on the Lancer and realizes that the Lancer is not going to be making evasion this game. In which case, he doesn't need an MKB on the Bear either. Having a straight up stun with the Abyssal Blade does seem like the way to go. What the hell is this game though? 36,000 net worth on a Lone Druid. I've never seen anything like this. Next up, the 6,000 gold himself. What does he get next? I think he's definitely going to need boots of travels first. Because if he sells off the TP to pick up his next item, he's going to be TP-less, and we've seen how many times that could lose you the game. Top lane, once again, Yogi Bear doing his thing. Trying to rat the lane. But Darkseer wants to try and keep the bear at bay. This is just Oracle standing behind the bear now and keeping the bear alive while it tries to rat. The rest of Mineski X just groups up and does absolutely nothing. Well, Next Generation had such an amazing chance to finish this game. I'm not sure what prompted them to back off from that bottom lane push earlier on. And now they're starting to pay the price for it. Mineski X showing that they have what it takes to make a full-fledged comeback here. With the graphs inching closer and closer to the break-even point. Finally, they're going to jump this bear. Will they be able to bring it down? The sunburn, sorry, the sun ray does the trick. They'll finally kill it off. Oh, he doesn't have a resummon actually. 35 seconds without the bear. And 6,000 gold on Kang. Maybe he just gets a refresher to ensure that he has the bear every single time. I don't know. What do you make on a Lone Druid once you've crossed 56 minutes? Lancer. I guess Moonshot is the next item of choice for him. And then the upgraded BOT, and that's it. He's done. He has no more room to grow. They'll find another Aegis. This time the Lancer is not going to be able to hold on to it, which means the Slaughter will probably keep it. While the Cheese will probably be held onto by the Darkseer. Again, next generation Vietnam. Are they feeling confident with that Aegis? But it's not on the Lancer. Probably not. X Nova, he's got himself a blade mail. I think I'm not certain if I saw that being picked up earlier on, but again, another way to deal with the Phantom Lancer is to get yourself a blade mail. I actually really like this. As of 6.87, blade mail does go through BKB magic immunity. The return damage at least goes through magic immunity, and I have always felt that the blade mail is now going to be a counter or a straight up way to deal with BKBs. Bear is down and out again perhaps. Oh, it's gonna pop his BKB and still make a run for it. The Phantom Rush on those illusions though is proccing from time to time. He just barely manages to get the return off. Well, the BKB timer ticks down by 1 more second. This game though, neither side willing to commit. I'm sure they feel the tension. It's really started to become a battle of patience between these two teams. One slip up at this point could cost the either side heavily. But at this point, pretty much everyone's got buybacks barring the supports. Another smoke gets popped by next generation, but it's as if they're using smokes to just get around the map now. They're not going to find any pickoffs unless they try and breach high ground. Mineski X wants them to come and fight them on their high ground, but next generation, they're unwilling to move in. Let's do a quick item check while we're at it. Axe. He's still struggling to get that Aghanim Scepter. He opted to build into the Force Staff instead. With Extinct, no more progression for him. Lone Druid is Bear. Does it have the full Abyssal Blade though? We'll have to check in just a moment because the Bear's up top. Nope, still no full Abyssal Blade finished up for him. Next Gen's now grouping up at mid again as a 5-man unit. They look like they want to initiate, but Slaughter can't seem to find target just yet. With the Aegis though, they'll send him out in the front lines. They'll bait out the fortification, and again they'll send illusions up on the cliff to take down the tier 3. There's a Lincoln's finished up now on the Darkseer as well, so luxury items now coming out for next generation Vietnam. But top lane, Yogi Bear's at it again. He's up to no good. Stealing picnic baskets, aka tier 3 towers from next generation Vietnam. Again, against all odds, it looks like Mineski X are the first ones to take a tier 3 tower this game. I don't even know how that happens. I mean, like, Mineski is just showing some insane amounts of patience this game. And they're doing it after playing about 8 straight hours of Dota today. Oh, this is when the map starts going absurd as well, I believe. I'm seeing random rays of light being shot out here now. Meanwhile, again, next generation grouping up. They've still got that Aegis. Boots of Travels will be finished up now on the Slaughter. But yeah, with another 4,000 gold in the bank, what does he go for next? He's got a full Crimson Guard along with the Aegis. Probably a Moonshot for himself. Maybe just another Lincoln Sphere. How about a Ghost Scepter actually? That actually sounds pretty legit. Ghost Scepters versus the physical DPS that Mineski X is bringing. Bear time! Once again, they'll jump it, and this time they'll find it. Dead Bear in the middle lane. Resummon. Gonna come through immediately. And already I'm starting to see these glimmers and sparkles all over the map. I have no clue where they're headed and why they're here, but shit's starting to break, boys. Tier 3 finally goes down. They're gonna jump in though with Johnny getting the call off on Lancer. He pops his BKB, pops the Manta, has the Lincolns on him as well. He's just duking it out with the Bear at this point, but the Bear is too strong and will not go down. Supernova, a zoning one gonna get dropped. It'll end up stunning the Doom. Remember, he does have his ult available. Johnny jumps back in for round 2. He gets sent back to the side. He's gonna get pulled back into his death by the Darkseer. Buyback from the Axe. Phoenix, meanwhile, diving past, doesn't get anything done. Juggernaut with the Omni Slash still can't get any damage done on the Lancer, who's just right-clicking the Rax and now right-clicking the Axe. Axe is gonna survive. The rest of next generation, they still can't finish off the Rax as Mineski X are fighting back and pummeling away with the blows. Big crush though from the Slaughter, catches out 4. They'll end up losing the Doom, who buys back immediately again. Lone Druid's been stunned up. He doesn't have a resummon on the Bear and he is down for 90 seconds. This could finally be the game as next generation esports has lost nobody on the back of that long and extended team fight. Just the ages taken away from the Slaughter, I believe. While the cheese also consumed by the Darkseer. That's one lane of Raxes down. They're going for the next one as well. Lone Druid's down for 76 seconds. Axe trying to do what he can. Jumps forward. There's the Abyssal Blade used from the Juggernaut as well. Blade Fury's there, but an even bigger vacuum on the backlines. Mineski X, they're crumbling as they lose their Juggernaut now. He'll buy back immediately. Slaughter about to drop, will go down, but Lancer cleans up on the Axe. That's a dieback on him, while Dr. Durex looks like he's about to drop himself. He needs to make a run for it. He's popped his BKB and trying to get out of here, but the stun from the Abyssal Blade will proc, but the Earth Spike from the Lion will help him get away. Sunray from the Phoenix provides a little bit of bonus HP as well as Nick. His Blink Dagger will be cancelled by the Lancer Illusions. The Heart Regen is kicking in now and they'll go in on X Nova. There's even a Lotus Orb thrown on him. Doppelganger gets used. More illusion spawn. Big Earth Spike comes out. Doom dies. It's a dieback on him as well as Nick will go down, making it a 120-second timeout now for the Juggernaut as next generation esports now have all the tools needed to finish this game. Nobody made any money in that fight by the looks of it. Minus 2,000 for Mineski X and minus 78 for next generation esports as the second lane of Raxes will get taken down. Mineski X unwilling to tap out though because the Lone Druid will respawn in 5 seconds time and he will have the Bear in another 8. He actually did go for the refresher orb, guys. See, what did I tell you? But hey, there it is. GG from Johnny. Game 1 in favor of next generation esports as we see a pause coming out from the Lion. He just got really excited on the back of that win. Unbelievable, guys. 64 minutes in. Next generation esports claims what is rightfully theirs. That is a victory in game 1 of the grand final of the Manila Major SEA Open qualifiers. Stay with me, folks. We'll be back with game 2 in just a bit to see if Mineski X can drag it out to a game 3. Thank you once again for tuning in. Holy moly, guys, we've almost crossed 2,500 viewers. You guys are freaking awesome. Thank you for tuning in. And of course, if you're enjoying, do hit the follow button on twitch.tv/AFK Gaming Esports. I'll see you in a bit.